She worked 3 years abroad, sending every dollar to build their dream home. When she finally returned to surprise her husband, she found her best friend living in the house she paid for, sleeping beside the man she trusted. They laughed when she discovered them. They had no idea what was coming next. This is Maya's story. Welcome to Melanin Empire Stories, where we share powerful and unforgettable stories. Please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share with your loved ones. Now, let's dive into today's story. The first time Daniel held Maya's hand, it felt like safety. Like finding solid ground after years of walking on unstable surfaces. Maya had just completed her nursing degree, and the journey had nearly destroyed her. Countless nights studying until her eyes burned, meals skipped to stretch her thin budget, and moments where quitting felt like the only option. But she pushed through because nursing wasn't just a career. It was her escape route, her ticket to a better life. Then Daniel appeared. He wasn't the loudest person in any room. He didn't need to be. There was something steady about him, a quiet strength that drew people in. When he looked at Maya, she felt seen in a way she never had before. "You're not like anyone I've met," he told her one evening as they walked through a park. "Most people talk about what they want to do. You actually do it." Maya smiled, embarrassed but proud. "I never really had another option." "You do now," he said gently. "Imagine what we could accomplish together." That word. We. It planted itself deep inside her heart and began to grow. Their relationship moved quickly but never felt rushed. Daniel showed up consistently. He brought her dinner during late study sessions. He texted encouragement before exams. He spoke about their future like it was already real. Maya, after years of fighting alone, finally allowed herself to depend on someone. Her closest friend, Trina, noticed immediately. "Girl, I have never seen you like this," Trina said one afternoon over lunch. "You're practically floating." Maya laughed. "Stop exaggerating. Just be careful, okay? Not every man who talks like a dream turns out to be one." Maya brushed it off. "You always overthink things." But somewhere in the back of her mind, Trina's words left a faint mark. Months passed, and Daniel became more than a boyfriend. He became her partner, her future. They discussed marriage, children, stability. One evening, Daniel brought up something new. "Your nursing license can open doors anywhere in the world," he said. "The UK, Canada, the US. Nurses are valued there. Paid well." Maya nodded slowly. "I've thought about it." "Then do it," he said. "Go for 2 or 3 years. Work hard. Save everything. Meanwhile, I'll stay here and start building. Maybe even begin constructing a house." She hesitated. "And what about us?" He didn't blink. "We'll be stronger than ever. By the time you come back, we won't be starting from nothing. We'll already have a life waiting." Maya searched his face for doubt. She found none. "You'd really wait," she whispered. Daniel reached for her hands. "I'm not going anywhere, Maya. I promise." Within months, they were married. The ceremony was simple but beautiful. Friends and family gathered. Music played. Laughter echoed into the night. Trina stood beside her as maid of honor. "You're really doing this," Trina whispered. "I really am," Maya replied. "Don't forget about me when you become some big international nurse," Trina teased. "Never," Maya promised. Across the room, Daniel watched them both, smiling like a man whose plan was already working perfectly. The night before Maya's flight, they sat together surrounded by packed luggage. "It's going to be hard," Maya admitted. "I know," Daniel replied softly. "But it's temporary. Promise me you won't change." He kissed her forehead. "When you come back, you won't recognize our life. It will be everything we talked about and more." She believed every word. At the airport the next morning, emotions ran high. Her parents prayed over her. Trina held on the longest. Call me constantly, Trina demanded. I will, Maya promised. Finally she turned to Daniel. He pulled her close. Go make us proud, he whispered. I love you, she said. I love you too, he replied. Maya walked toward the departure gate and never looked back. America greeted Maya with freezing wind, unfamiliar accents, and deep loneliness. Her first apartment was tiny. Thin walls. Flickering lights. At night, only the humming refrigerator and distant traffic kept her company. But she hadn't crossed an ocean for comfort. She came to build. Her hospital job was brutal. The pace was unforgiving. Some patients were kind. Others dismissive. Her co-workers were polite but distant. Still, Maya endured. She picked up extra shifts. Then more. Day shifts bled into night shifts. Sleep became a luxury. Her hands grew rough. Her feet ached constantly. Her eyes carried permanent exhaustion. But every hour worked meant progress. Every paycheck meant another step closer. Winter was the hardest. Maya had never experienced cold that made her bones ache. She bought a second-hand coat from a thrift store, but it wasn't enough. She layered clothes, walked to work through snow and ice, arrived with numb fingers and chattering teeth. There were nights she sat alone eating instant noodles, staring at walls, wondering what she was doing so far from home. But then her phone would ring. Daniel's name would appear. And suddenly everything felt worth it. At first, the distance felt manageable. They spoke daily. Long calls filled with laughter and updates. I miss you, Daniel would say. I miss you more, Maya would reply after another exhausting shift. He told her about the progress. Contractors hired. Land secured. Foundation laid. I met with the architect today, he said once. You should see the designs, Maya. Exactly what we talked about. Her chest swelled with pride. I can't wait to see it. Just keep doing what you're doing, he encouraged. You're making all of this possible. For the first year, their communication was consistent. Video calls where Daniel showed her the construction site. Concrete being poured. Walls going up. Their future taking shape. Trina started appearing in those calls too. At first occasionally, then regularly. Trina's been helping me coordinate with contractors, Daniel explained. She has a good eye for design. Maya smiled. That's so sweet of her. Having Trina involved felt comforting. It made the distance smaller. The money request started casually. A shortfall on materials. An unexpected permit fee. Labor costs running higher than expected. Baby, I hate to ask, Daniel would begin, but we need to pay the foundation contractor by Friday. How much? Maya would ask. When he told her, her stomach would drop. But only for a second. I'll send it, she'd say. And she did. Every single time. But the requests grew larger and more frequent. Plumbing. Electrical wiring. Roofing. Furniture. A generator. Security gates. Landscaping. Each request came with detailed explanations that sounded legitimate. Maya began eliminating every personal expense. No new clothes. No outings. No comforts. She wore the same scrubs until threadbare. She cut her own hair. She walked instead of taking the bus. She turned her heat down so low she could see her breath inside her apartment. Every spare dollar was wired across the ocean. Her co-workers noticed. Maya, you okay? One asked. You look exhausted. I'm fine, Maya replied automatically. You're working too much. Maya just smiled. I'm saving for something important. Sometimes after sending money she would sit quietly and imagine the house. The kitchen where she would cook for Daniel. The bedroom where she would finally rest. The front porch where they would sit together and say we made it. Those images kept her alive. Trina remained present through video calls. Sometimes she'd be at the house with Daniel. "The house is looking amazing," Trina reported once, flipping the camera to show a half-finished wall. "You're going to love it." Maya's face lit up. "Show me more." Trina walked through the space. "This will be the living room." Daniel picked out beautiful tiles. "And wait until you see the kitchen." "Daniel is putting in serious work," Trina added. Maya beamed. "That's my husband." Looking back, Maya would remember small things. The way Trina seemed too comfortable in that space. The way she spoke about design choices with authority. The way Daniel's voice softened when Trina was nearby. But in the moment, Maya saw none of it. Gradually, things shifted. Daniel's calls grew shorter. Video tours stopped. Sometimes he sounded distracted. Other times he didn't call at all. When Maya questioned it gently, there was always an explanation. Long days at the site. Meetings with contractors. Network issues. Maya accepted every excuse because doubting him felt like betrayal. 3 years passed like that. Work. Send. Repeat. Her life became a cycle she couldn't break. And through it all, Maya never stopped believing. Not when her body screamed for rest. Not when loneliness threatened to swallow her. Not even when a small voice inside whispered that something was wrong. She silenced that voice every time. Because love meant trust. What she didn't realize was that with every dollar, she wasn't building a future. She was funding a betrayal. The decision to go home came as a feeling. It was a rare morning off. Sunlight crept through her curtains. She scrolled through old photos. Their wedding. Trina beside her. Daniel showing the house foundation. 3 years. 3 entire years. What if I just go home? She thought suddenly. No announcement. Just show up. The idea thrilled her. She imagined his face. The shock. The joy. The embrace. Within days she had booked a flight. She packed carefully and bought gifts. A watch for Daniel. Perfume for Trina. When the plane landed, her heart raced. She didn't call Daniel. That was the surprise. She got into a taxi and gave the driver the address. "The new estate?" he asked. Maya smiled. "Yes. Very nice area. Big houses there." Her chest swelled with pride. When the taxi finally stopped, Maya's breath caught. There it was. Beautiful. Tall. Freshly painted. Clean lines. A balcony. Polished gate. Spacious compound. Every sleepless night. Every skipped meal. Every lonely evening. It had all turned into something real. She paid the driver and walked toward the gate with trembling hands. She pulled out the key Daniel had sent months ago. Her fingers tightened around it as she approached the door. Then she paused. That feeling again. Faint. Unsettling. She shook her head. "You're just nervous." Taking a deep breath, she inserted the key. It turned smoothly. The door opened. And then she heard it. Laughter. A woman's laughter. Soft. Comfortable. Familiar. Maya froze. Then a man's voice. Daniel's voice. Relaxed. Casual. Maya's heartbeat changed. She stepped forward slowly. The living room came into view. Expensive furniture. A pair of shoes by the couch. Not hers. But not unfamiliar. Then she saw her. Trina. Curled on the couch in a silk robe. Completely at home. Maya's world tilted. Before she could speak, Daniel appeared from the hallway. Shirtless. Relaxed. When his eyes met hers, there was no shock. No panic. Just a brief pause. Like she was an interruption. Maya's suitcase slipped from her fingers and hit the floor. No one rushed to explain. "You didn't say you were coming," Trina said flatly. Maya's voice trembled. "I wanted to surprise my husband." "Well," Trina replied. "Surprise." Maya turned to Daniel desperately. "What is this?" He rubbed his neck. "It just happened, Maya. You were gone. Things changed. Things changed." A broken laugh escaped. 3 years of my life. Every dollar I earned. And things changed. Trina stood, adjusting her robe. "And just so we're clear, this house is in Daniel's name. Not yours." The words hit like a blow. Maya staggered backward. "Did you ever love me?" she asked quietly. He hesitated just long enough to destroy her. "It's not about that," he said. Maya picked up her suitcase with shaking hands. Neither moved to stop her. As she walked toward the door, Trina's voice followed. "You'll be fine. You're strong, right?" Maya paused for half a second. Then stepped out into the evening air. She hadn't just lost a marriage. She had lost 3 years to a carefully constructed lie. And they didn't feel an ounce of regret. In a hotel room that night, Maya cried until nothing was left. The pain tore through her completely. But when the tears stopped, something different filled the space. Not anger. Clarity. She looked at her reflection. Same face. Same eyes. But something behind them had changed. "They think I'm finished," she whispered. Then slowly, "They're wrong." Maya returned to America and began building something new. Not a house. A case. She gathered every piece of evidence. Bank transfers. Dates. Amounts. Screenshots of conversations where Daniel asked for money. Voice messages. Texts from Trina encouraging her to send funds. Everything organized. Everything documented. She consulted lawyers across both countries. She studied financial fraud statutes, marital property laws, international transfer regulations. By her 5th consultation, her case had strength. "This isn't just infidelity," one attorney said. "This is financial exploitation through deliberate deception." "Can I recover what's mine?" Maya asked. "It won't be easy," the lawyer replied. "But yes. Very possible." That was all she needed. Back home, Daniel and Trina continued living lavishly. They hosted parties. Posted photographs. Played the role of a successful couple. They never saw it coming. The first sign was a declined transaction. Then frozen accounts. Then official legal notices. Daniel called Maya in panic. "What have you done?" he demanded. Maya answered calmly. "You had 3 years to be honest. That was your chance. You're destroying everything." A pause. "No. I'm reclaiming it." She hung up. The legal process moved with devastating precision. Financial audits exposed every misused dollar. Court orders escalated from freezes to seizures. The eviction notice arrived on a Tuesday. 3 days to vacate. Daniel and Trina scrambled for help. But no one wanted to be associated with a fraud case. On the final day, movers arrived. Inventory was taken. Assets logged for liquidation. Trina stood watching strangers catalog the life she thought was hers. "This is insane," she whispered. Daniel tried one last time. He called Maya. She answered. "Maya, please. This has gone too far." "You had 3 years to be honest," she said. "That was your chance. You're destroying everything." "No," she replied. "I'm reclaiming it." The call ended. By evening, it was over. Daniel and Trina stood outside with a few bags. Behind them, the house was no longer theirs. Within weeks, the property was sold. Proceeds went toward repayment. But it wasn't enough. They were left with nothing. No house. No savings. Only obligations and debt that would follow them. Maya didn't return to the house. She didn't need to. One evening, she reviewed the final report. Recovered funds. Closed claims. Resolved case. She read the last line twice. Then closed the file. No celebration. Just a quiet breath. They had taken from her thinking she would never fight back. They thought distance made her weak. They thought trust made her easy. They thought wrong. In the end, they didn't just lose what they built with her money. They lost everything they tried to become without her. Maya didn't just get her life back. She made sure they felt exactly what it meant to lose one. We have come to the end of this story. If you found it powerful, please like and subscribe to our channel for more unforgettable stories. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay strong and never underestimate your own power.